Muy buenas, hoy estamos aquí en Alfasoni de nuevo con Kattie Riggs, una vocal coach que ha venido de Los Ángeles, ha llevado a nombres enormes que os dejaré por aquí pantalla para no aburriros, y vamos a tener una entrevista con ella que no podíamos dejar pasar esta oportunidad, ya que ha venido a Barcelona para dar una Masterclass. Hi Kattie.
Hey.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
It's your first time in Barcelona?
First time. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, you enjoyed the store, you liked it?
Yes, it is extensive here. It's extensive and beautiful here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with the simple ones.
Okay.
Who is Kattie Riggs, for anyone that doesn't know you?
Who is Kattie Riggs? Kattie Riggs is a passionate voice teacher from Los Angeles who grew up in music. I love what I do, and I'm so excited to be anywhere where I could share it.
Okay, and there's a lot of people that doesn't know the role of a vocal coach. So just condense it. What is the role of a vocal coach?
In my opinion, a vocal coach is somebody that is there to assist the singer. So whether it's for a play or a tour or recording, just learning, what we're there to do is to balance the voice so that they can keep singing and not get into any trouble.
We prepared some questions and then our followers sent some questions.
Okay.
A lot of questions. Do you think it's useful or essential for an artist to have the support of a vocal coach during an extensive musical tour? Their concerts are like almost every day.
Absolutely. The role of a vocal coach is essential. One of the more valuable things you can have on a tour, if you can afford it, you bring your vocal coach. A lot of people behind the scenes want to put a lot of money and effort towards the backgrounds and dancers and hair and makeup, you know, and making sure that things look nice. What we're there to do is to hear the singer sing. So we want that to be top notch.
Totally.
So yes, it's absolutely essential.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think it's so. Then we're gonna go with the studio recordings. In studio recordings, the singers often gets nervous being in a new or cold context. Will you recommend any special advices for that situation?
Pray.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, pray too, but go ahead.
So do you think it's advisable to bring a vocal coach to the recording, or is it better to prepare the session beforehand?
I think if you can do sessions leading up to the session, then that's going to be most important, because you don't want to be learning something on the day of. At the point where you're actually recording a song, you need your technique to be in your body. You're not trying to go in there and do things, and you want to be able to have the song so much in your body that you're not focusing on that at all. You're focusing on delivering the emotional content of the song. But it's still valuable to have us in there, because a lot of times, you know, the producer doesn't have the same language as a voice teacher. So where a producer says, hey, could you make something a little airy or angelic or something like that, they're not exactly always so sure how to pull it out of the singer. So that's what we do.
Oh,
we go in there, go, oh, okay, so he wants a little bit of this. And then if you have a voice teacher that actually sings, you can say, hey, try this, and they can copy you, you know?
I think I get it. It's difficult because sometimes people tell you, like, can you make it brighter? What does brighter mean in my voice? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then depending upon what you're working with and who you're working with, they might be able to bring that out differently.
What kind of pre-recording routines do you recommend to take care of your voice, obviously? Because we heard even of some artists even stopping speaking for a few days.
Yeah, I don't think that stopping talking for a few days, that you need to do that at all when your technique is good. Technique is something that it's a conditioning process. It's over time. We're athletes, right? So we have to fuel ourselves properly, hydrate properly, not just 3 days before, you know? Again, it's like having the conditioning over time, feeding your body the right things, getting enough sleep. Sometimes the age of a person and how much they like to party, and they don't always know what's gonna happen to your voice.
Yeah.
And we as singers have to be like super thoughtful.
Yeah,
or
your instrument
conscious.
is your own body. It's not like playing a guitar.
Right, where you could do whatever you kind of want to do, and maybe it might throw you off a little bit of track, but you're not having to actually use your voice. When you're working with a touring artist, the climate's going to change.
Oh.
So that's why it's so important to have the conditioning of a good vocal technique. You're treating your body right, you're eating the right things, you're hydrating properly, you're doing your exercise, so that when you get into like the next country, right, you have all of those things and you continue doing those things, because you're going to run into things like being dehydrated because you're in the air for 12 hours or, you know.
That's something you mentioned that I didn't thought about, that change the environment, because it's not the same playing in Germany than Spain. The weather changes, your body is not used to it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's legit. You could be like, it's different when you're singing at sea level versus on top of a mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it affects your air.
The oxygen is not the same everywhere. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what will you say to singers who are afraid to go to a professional studio because of a bad past experience or maybe no experience and prefer to record themselves at home? Do you think it's a mistake or?
I think that it's important to be around people that are better than you, right?
Okay.
If they're talking to you, go to the next person, because there's an audience for everybody, and just because one person doesn't like your sound or one person doesn't like your vibe, that doesn't mean that you are not good or that you are not worthy. You just need to get around the right company. The difference between recording at home or an actual studio, I would go to an actual studio and like let the people do what they do best so that you can go and do what you do best. Unless you're interested in learning all of that stuff, by all means, awesome, but...
In a band context,
yeah.
Do you think the voice is just another instrument or does it have to be understood in a special way?
Just another instrument? I don't love that question. Every instrument is very special, and whoever's playing the instrument has got to know that instrument.
You're right, absolutely right. It's just because we see this thing in almost every band. As I said to you, we play in bands, everyone in the store. And in the mix, in the recordings, in the live, everyone is so focused in the voice. Mm. But we have a lot of singers that doesn't even show up to the training. Like, you're training every day and they show up at the show, like, I'm gonna do my thing, and everyone loves that. It's just different. Sometimes it feels like it.
That's gonna catch up with the singer, I guarantee you. And it doesn't matter if you're the best of the best or you're just starting out. I think that there's a part of that feels really, I don't know, kind of innocent and playful and spontaneous and in the moment, and there is something really, really great about that. That is actually how I operate a little bit as well. But when you're showing up to sing in the context of a band over time, if you want that band to last, you have to understand what you're doing vocally. Yeah, and it's also disrespectful not to show up to the band like everybody else is showing up to the band.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just a band of friends or a work. Exactly. Yeah.
Right, but even with friends, like.
You have to be professional anywhere.
Yeah, because everybody wants to sound good.
I agree. And how important is the psychological factor, like self-esteem or confidence, in the vocal development? Do you recommend any specific relaxation exercises, or, you know? I
think it depends upon what you're dealing with emotionally.
Yeah.
That could be the role of a therapist or a life coach. It's very important. Following people online that have something good to say so that you can kind of catch on and lift above any of the bullshit that your brain wants to tell you. You
mention it sometimes, and I like it. The fact that you need to, I don't know how to say it, but be with kind people that do things the best they can and just good things to say, and even in social media.
I think it's super important because I don't know about you, but I have an inner critic in my head.
Obviously.
And that's very loud depending upon what I'm doing and where I'm doing it, right? So in order to combat that, it is nice to like kind of feed yourself with the right things. Otherwise, it's like the world is negative if that's the way
you're conditioning yourself.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people who have always dreamed of singing, but they never tried because they don't have the voice they like, or it's
do
difficult.
It anyway.
Exactly, that's what I say. And do you think a good voice is something you're born with, or do you think you can always work on it?
Both.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I think some people are born with a natural ability, and then others, like me, gotta work for it. If you want a good sounding voice that is actually achievable, it just might take you longer than somebody that was born with it, right, where they kind of pick it up a little bit faster, maybe. Yeah.
That's interesting because you can apply this to so many things in life.
Right?
Yeah. And do you think it's important for a singer to have basic musical notions, to have a good career? That is to say, understand the musical language, even play at least one instrument, or it's not necessary?
I think that that's what they tell you, but no, I don't think that it's necessary. I think that if you choose an instrument and you learn all you can about that instrument, right on. I mean, it just depends upon, like, there's certain things that I can't do, and I'm probably weaker for them, but my strengths are pretty strong, right? So I can, it just depends upon what you want to do. Yeah, I think it would make someone more musical if, yes, absolutely. Do you have to? No.
Okay.
I'm proof.
Here's the proof.
Yeah.
Here's the proof.
I play scales really good.
You can start singing whenever you want, just try it.
And you should, actually, I don't know, I kind of really enjoy listening to somebody that's off pitch and just all over the place.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it comes straight from their heart,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they just
I'm like,
trying.
God bless you.
It's emotional.
Do it, yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it, yeah. And if you want to get like better and you don't want people to talk to you, then get a coach.
How does the body language influence in the projection of the voice? Do you recommend that singers also have training in theater, dance, or other performing disciplines?
It'd be nice if you're interested in doing those other things that can't hurt your singing at all. I mean, if someone came in and they were super like schlumpy, whoa, then that would help. But when you're with a voice instructor, in any kind of technique, they're gonna tell you to be upright and to care about your posture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, voice editing and tuning is very standardized with tools like Autotune or Melodyne. What do you think of these tools? And what advice will you give to singers who are just starting out to avoid falling into bad practices?
These new technologies can be very fun and valuable. I think it depends upon the context. I think for most of the time I see it crippling people, crippling singers' ability to then go live. Because I just had an artist recently who said that they had been recording an album for the last like 3 years. It's been like a really long process of creating an album.
Too long.
It's too long, right? Well, whatever it is, like that's what it was for them. But they haven't been singing live and they haven't been singing through full songs. So then you never know when an opportunity is gonna come, right? It's just gonna drop out and be like, okay, we want you to sing, one song or 5 songs, and you're like, it's just kind of like crisis management. Like, do you wanna have the possibility on the table of a lot of anxiety or not? To work with a vocal coach just ongoingly is great because again, you never know when the opportunity is gonna come in. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool sounds you get from programs like that. But again, it shouldn't take away from developing your voice.
You can rely everything on them.
Right.
Yeah, but you have an artistic choice in them. What are the musical styles where you have had more problems when working as a coach? Are there any styles where this kind of service is just seen bad?
What I teach works with all genres of music. I haven't had too much of a problem in any genre. I would say that I teach opera students the least, but doesn't mean that I have a problem. It's like in Los Angeles, you don't find a whole bunch of people singing opera.
I think that if someone goes to a vocal coach, it just goes, they open it to it.
Yeah, and like any good vocal coach is gonna lean you towards better vocal health, a better vocal technique. So I do have a lot of rockers that come in, and like notoriously, like rockers are most abusive vocally. Yeah. Okay, so my job is to meet you halfway. Like, can you come a little bit my way so I can go a little bit your way, so we can so that you know the rules before you break them, so that when you're like at the end of a show and you have a loss of voice, you'll know what did that versus like, I don't have a voice, I don't know what's going on. It's like, no. You know what you did and where. That's my role, is to like teach you the rules, and then if you want to break them, that's all good, but
just know wherever you are. Yeah.
What's your level of risk?
Exactly. Who's your favorite artist as a voice professional?
I don't have one.
No?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with
because everybody's so different.
You know? Like being open to a lot of different voices, and every day your favorite is different.
The vibe of Ozzy Osbourne and the way he walks into a room and his things that he's doing vocally are very much different than, say, a Dua Lipa or whatever. Like the experience, that's what makes my job so fun. My favorite student is the one that wants to learn and that puts in the time to get better. Otherwise, it's a waste of everybody's time.
You learn things from your students?
Yeah, I think I learn things from my students that are about life and about spirituality and about things like surrounding yourself.
But that affects the boys too, so it's nice.
Absolutely. I mean, it all is so psychological. If you think that you can't do something, you probably won't even try, right? Even with training, that's what I pick up most from students is like, because every single one of them is chasing their dream, right? And so every single one of them has that special sauce. It's like, no matter what, I'm gonna go and perform, right? And so you get that from different people in different genres, and I think that's also a part of the element that makes it so fun to do what I do.
You mentioned the age, and that was my next question. Up to what age do you think the boys can work well for a professional singer? Is there a red line where the voice starts to decay?
Depends upon what the singer is singing and how well they've kept up their instruments throughout the year.
Yeah, it's not the same being at 70 years old with a kind of life or another. Yeah.
Right. Like I actually have had, I've had actually quite a few lately, voices that are older. One in particular that hadn't been singing, but he came in wanting to sing Frank Sinatra. He had a very nice natural vibrato, you know, so for him to sing at his age was like totally fine. I was just coming in and kind of shaping things a little bit differently, and he was fine. It'd be different for somebody to come in with no background, no conditioning at 70 or 80, and then like try to take, but again, it's like, who am I to say that it's impossible? It's not impossible. It just, again, it depends upon your work ethic and how interested you are in.
Just the good student you were talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah. I doesn't have this right, but since you mentioned Ozzy and we talk about the age, it's not planned, but this year it's a special year for Ozzy.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit shocked because we've been following Ozzy a lot of years.
Yeah.
So we were like in the MTV show. You remember that?
Of course.
And it's crazy because, you know, Ozzy's medical condition, it's not the best through years. And he's gonna do his final show this year, something very special.
Yeah.
If you can go check it, it will be amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it's sold out, right?
I'm pretty sure it's sold out like really fast.
I would love to be there, but you know. And the thing is that Ozzy, it's not, how many years does he have? I don't even know, but.
I think he's in mid-70s.
Okay, yeah. It's in mid-70s, he's in not the best physical and mental and.
His voice is amazing.
Exactly.
And it punches.
He was saying like he's in the peak career in voicing, and it's just crazy. It's the usual, or it's just...
It's crazy when it's right in front of your face, zooming through one ear and out the other. It's like, wow. I'm like totally amazed and totally like...
How can it even be, right?
Yeah, how could it? Yeah, how could it? But it is. It just is. And I think for Ozzy, he's been conditioning over the years for very many years. On and off had a vocal coach, I don't know how consistent, but he's been consistent for a while. Yeah, so exciting. I can't wait.
Will you be there?
Yeah.
What do you consider to be the main difference between the vocal technique used live or the one used recording in a studio? Do you recommend practicing with different types of microphones even, or just?
I think that the singer should record how they're going to do it live.
That's interesting.
It's hardly ever that way.
Okay.
But then it translates. It translates really easily, right? So I think the microphone would absolutely make a difference. What you're recording with live, will it pick up all of those sounds that you're doing in the studio? Back in the day, you couldn't take 100 takes. I mean, you could, but you couldn't chop it up like you can today. And let me tell you, I've got a bunch of people, you know, that get like a lot of stardom very fast from viral TikTok videos or Instagram reels or any of that kind of stuff, and then to get them to sing what they did in a certain kind of way that it doesn't translate. And so then they're in a way temporarily crippled, right? Temporarily. It's like I've got people that like get famous off of these different social media things and then are in front, they're like performing at Coachella, which is a big festival.
Yes.
So you want to be as close as to what you can, and it's very difficult because depending upon who you're working with, different producers and kind of getting different sounds, it's hard to translate. So in the best of worlds, you're going to do most of what you do in training in your actual recording.
That's the ideal, the ideal thing. It's not always like there, but...
Right. No, I mean, it's probably hardly ever like that.
Yeah, but we're trying.
But if you have that vocal coach, you can kind of, in a way, get away with a lot more in the studio, right? Because you can take 100 takes of like, you know, one word, you know, whatever you want to do. But simultaneously, like conditioning over time, so that you can translate a lot easier, right? Versus only being in the studio and taking takes. I mean, some of those people don't even know what it's like to sing through the entire song.
Yeah, it's not the same, just say a phrase or an entire 4-minute song. Yeah, and the cardio's live, the heat. Yeah, it's not. I have a curiosity about this question.
Okay.
So you have a lot of big names in your career that they perform, not only sing. They have a lot of performance and emotionally connection with the public. You know, do they do the same things they do live? Not vocally, I mean physically in the studio? Like someone that doesn't, like, an example. You can deliver some line of voice if you're not doing like,
right.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you find it's usual?
Usual for the performer to do some of the same things with their body in the studio? Yes. Yes, but you can only get away with so much, right?
Yeah, you cannot just be like,
right.
Okay, yeah.
Right, but I think it is like the psychology, right? You can deliver the same line in a lot of different ways without having to, you know, it's in your face, it's in your heart and spirit, like you can read that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna add another one because I like this, where you were going with this. It's interesting because you're not only working with singers, you work with actors. Is this because of the delivery or dictation? What's the main point?
Depending upon what the director wants out of the actor, right? So if someone has a particularly light, thin sounding voice, they might hire somebody like me to come in and try to deepen and maybe even darken their sound, I've got people that deliver speeches, you know. Well, that's actually kind of more specific. So depending upon who I'm working with, like vocal therapy in a way to like make sure that their voice sounds stable and balanced and alive and flexible, even though they're not singing. They're, knowing how to project and being able to maintain that projection. And then, with the actors, it's a little bit different. I've had actors taking on different roles in different languages and stuff like that. So their job is to tell me like, okay, what is this character? Are they impersonating somebody? And like, what is happening over there? So all I need to do is like hear it, and then I can go over here and, you know, try to help the singer do that over there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's a lot of this.
No, we were talking about the growls and fry screaming and that kind of things, and you know, it goes with the actors.
That's really important.
Exactly.
If you are fry or growl screaming, you better be with somebody that understands how not to hurt your vocal cords, because there's a lot of out there.
A lot of vocal coaches, like from the 70s till now, working with actors in slasher and horror movies. Because you, as you said, you have to make a lot of takes, and it's not the same to scream.
Oh my God.
8 hours.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, there's definitely a healthier way to scream.
Well, okay. I think this is all.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you for being here.
I just got comfortable though. So do you have like another set of questions?
Yeah, we can maybe just throw something. Do you have any questions?
I just got comfortable. I'm kidding. I hope you know I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Yeah. So,
okay.
Thank you.